I live in a university dormitory. This is my prize for being a fairly good scholar. A spring bed, pest-infested locker, a rickety desk, and a huge screen window that does not keep out rain drizzles or strong breeze, or the smell of decaying matter from the old tree in the front yard. I'm not complaining, as I live here free of charge, and I love the homey feel of the old buildings, and there's something about being surrounded by maybe 100 other university students in their own rooms that makes me feel safe and secure, but I really hate having to live with a roommate. I have lived in solitary for 6 months until Muriel moved in 3 weeks ago. Well, she is nice and sweet. She keeps to herself, which I like. She doesn't snore, despite being such a deep sleeper, and does not mind me walking around in my panties. She keeps her general shenanigans to a minimum. However, what I really hate about her is that she has to keep the lights on at night. Don't get me wrong, I can sleep through anything, sound, terrain, temperature, or position, what have you. I definitely have no trouble falling asleep, even with bright lights. However, since the start of my stay here in the dormitory, there has always been a reason for me turning off the lights every time I sleep, or even when I'm waking late into the night. I told Muriel about it, but she didn't believe me and thought I was silly. She's a city slicker, so she's quickly dismissive. My narrative as country bumpkin beliefs. Every time I tried to tell her, she always laughs and says, "You're so silly." I sucked it up because I do not want to get in trouble with my roommate and lose my dormitory privileges. However, every night I wait for Muriel to fall asleep or I sneakily turn out our lights. Fortunately, she's an early sleeper and she never seems to catch on or wonder why the lights are already off when she wakes up in the morning. This is a relief and it's a little ritual of mine that's paid well for the past 3 weeks, much to our safety despite her oblivion. You see, there is a creature that lives in the tree out the front yard at the dorm. It's like a human with incredibly dark skin, except it has no other feature except 2 bright, round eyes on its face and long, sharp nails on its fingers. On my first day here, I saw it trying to slash the window screen to get in. As soon as I caught it in the act, it moved back to the tree where it's from and kept staring me straight in the eye from behind the branches. Every moment that I take my eyes off it, it quickly moves closer to the window. I didn't tell the dorm manager because I knew how crazy I would sound. In fact, I didn't tell anyone else, except Muriel when she moved in. Now I'm starting to regret not telling more people. I don't know what this creature is. Maybe somebody could have helped me the first time I encountered it. Maybe now it could have been long gone already. Through the days of the creature's attempts to get in, I just learned to live my life around it, as I also don't have that much money to find another place to stay. What I know is that it doesn't like being looked at. I can't get close for as long as I stare at it. For some reason, I can't seem to spot the creature when the room lights are on. Its figure blends into the darkness and makes it virtually invisible unless my eyes are, acclimated to the darkness first. That is why, just before midnight, I always turn the lights off and watch out for its approach. It seems to be only able to get to the tree when it strikes midnight, but then it disappears into the tree by 2 a.m. So I only sleep or try to do other things once it's already 2 a.m. Most days, though, I just opt out to not return to the dorm before 2 a.m, or I just sleep at a friend's apartment because the creature never seems to bother getting inside the room when I'm not around. Come to think of it, though, I didn't have much of a problem before Muriel moved in. I've been safe for 6 months. Nights staring into the creature's eyes desensitized me to the fear of it. It just seemed like a minor inconvenience that lasted 2 hours. I even begin to think of it just as some awkward night chameleon with really sharp nails. It only became much harder when Muriel became my roommate. I have to insist at times Muriel not going home before 2 a.m. She usually sleeps early and does not like to party that much, so I have to muster all my extroversion and powers of persuasion to drag her ass out. One weekend, when I had to visit someone, I had to convince her to go on a trip as well, where she'd not be sleeping in the dorm alone. Well, it's either that or I stay in the dorm and wait until she falls asleep, so I can turn off the lights and stare at the creature. It would have been much easier if Muriel just believed me. I regret not waking her up in the middle of the night, so she can see the creature for herself, but I thought that it might be mighty cruel of me to drag her into my nightmare. A while ago, at around 11 p.m, we were out partying at the bar when Muriel surprisingly phoned me. She told me that she went ahead without telling me, because she was really sleepy already and couldn't drink anymore. I begged her to turn the lights off and watch the window as usual. She laughed and said I was silly, and it was past 2 a.m, and I'm back at the dorm. The window was slashed when I got in. Muriel sat quietly on her bed. Dark skin, 2 bright eyes, and long, sharp nails. She stared at me, and I stared back. Then she went back out and disappeared into the tree.